In the criminal justice system, street racing offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Street Racing Prevention Unit. These are their stories. This video, I'm going to be reviewing the PEztio dash cam. PEztio. So this supports full HD, 1080p. Let's look at some of the specs. Features: HD video camera, program JL, not sure exactly what that means, LCD screen, 4.0 PS. Okay, usually they tell you the screen size in inches. Apparently, that's not going to happen this time around. So the language is in there. Chinese traditional, Korean, Chinese simplified, English, Japanese, Russian. Continuous loop video, seamless loop recording, don't leak second. Okay. H.264 audio, AAC. Let's see, 5-volt input, so I'm guessing it's basic USB, like your regular little square block iPhone charger. All right, so it says the max use supporting of memory is a 32 gigabyte flash card. Photo mode 3 million, I have no idea what that means. 50 hertz, so that means basically it should have between 50 and 60 frames per second when you record. And it has a built-in 300 milliampere battery. Now, if it's only a 300 milliampere battery, my guess is that when this is actually mounted, however it is mounted, this has to be pretty much plugged in to your power supply, because the thing about it is 300 milliamp is really very, very, very small. Now, especially when you're running with something that has an LCD screen. So basically, this camera was like the latest in the long list of stuff that I've gotten from my Chinese suppliers. They give me products all the time, car parts and this, that, and other, and they want me to demonstrate, make reviews, show it off for you, so this way I can give you coupon codes and you go to their websites on Amazon. If you're interested, you buy yourself the product. Now, my thing is, personally, I like using my iPhone for just about everything, but nowadays these pigs out there are trying to give you tickets if you have a camera in your hand, and it's a 5-point ticket. Now, I can understand why they do that, because you got a lot of these people who are not paying attention while they're driving, and they're texting and driving and everything, and they get into car accidents and everything. So I could kind of understand that, because the last thing I want is one of these losers with one of these fucking Honda Accords, one of these piece of shit Toyota Priuses hitting me in the back because they were texting their boyfriend while he's out cheating on him anyway. But, stuff happens. So my thing is, you got to always be prepared, so just in case anything ever happens while you're on the road, you want to have yourself a dash camera. So this camera, as you can see, this is your typical build quality. It's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. It's your typical build quality, courtesy of China. Typical. Feels exactly like it. It reminds me of the old days when they started making knockoff iPhones. Now, let's see what the mounts look like, because sometimes they give you pretty good mounts, and sometimes the mounts can be used multi-purpose. You don't have to necessarily use it for what they give you. So this is the suction cup mount. I'm going to make a video and add the video from this camera to this review that I'm doing right now. So this is the power charger. As you can see, it's a USB type A. Like, as you know, we're up to USB-C now, but most of their products, they usually give you 5-volt USB, the most basic USB type you could have. It's not even the smaller USB micro B. It's not even that. It's like the most basic one. So what's this? This right here. Oh, I gotta find out what this is, because this looks like this is a camera too. So in fact, that's interesting. There's something else. This is a secondary camera. This is a second camera right here. This right here is a second camera mount. So it almost looks like they're giving you 2 cameras for the price of 1. So let's check that out. Now this camera right here, this looks like some shit you could put, if you built a race car, and I'm not talking about one of them slow-ass Camaros and the Mustangs that you know, deleted the muffler and you tried to tune it up. I'm saying if you build a real race car, like a Mopar product, you could mount this. Oh, you know what this is? This is I think this is a backup camera. Yeah, like you can mount this to your bracket, and this is a backup camera right here. And it has this red wire. It's probably, because it looks like this runs all the way, because it's a very big wire. It looks like it might be about 15 feet. This runs all the way into your car. Yeah, reverse, they call it a rear view camera. Yep, that was right. It's a backup camera. Because my thing is, what they should start doing, especially when you have really cool race cars, they should put like a camera in your C-pillar or your B-pillar, so this way they can watch your hands and the back of your head and the road. And this way you could automatically have like a camera built right into your car. Like GM's been doing that. Like they put that in the CTS-V and they put it into the Corvette. What they didn't put into the CTS-V was a better engine, one that has more than 650 horsepower, because I tell you, a Hellcat will murder you every single time. And the red eye, the red eye will go so fast past you until it'll make you think you're going backwards. So you'll never be able to get any good recordings unless you're just recording the back of its tailplate and everything. So not with that GM car, no. They're too slow. They're just too slow. You got to get something fast. So anyway, insert the SD card in the correct orientation. Please choose max 32 gig. Okay. Connect the red cable to the positive electrode of the reverse light. And then the plug goes into where? Plug goes into the camera, I'm guessing. So as soon as you what is it called? As soon as you put this damn thing, what's that? It says the 12-volt DC, connect the red cable. So where does the other one go? The other one must go into the actual camera itself. I just love Chinese instructions. I love them. Okay, let's see what this is. Okay, so IPS touchscreen. You can use this as a regular camera if you want. I think you can take regular photos, or you can mount it and use the video camera function. And it shows ways that you can mount it. So the best thing about having stuff like this, and see, my idea is, if you're gonna have something like this, my thing is, I'd almost rather have something that has a remote control. And the reason why is because if it has a remote control and it's something that's almost always on, as soon as something happens, like as soon as you see that there's an accident that's happening or a cop's about to pull you over or something like that, it's like right away you can you can click a button or something and you can start recording. But this is the mount hole right here. So this is where it plugs into, and that's basically it. So basically you just put in your micro SD card right here in the top, and you just basically start recording. So let's turn this boy on. Okay, let's push the power button. These things usually ship with power in them. Maybe this one did not. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to ultimately do is I'm going to actually mount this in my car. And I'm going to actually make a video so that you can see its recording ability. Because, like when you get on YouTube and you watch the latest car accident and you see what they've got for you to see, It's like you always want to have, first of all, you always record sideways in landscape mode. You never record in portrait mode. So let's record. Okay, so this thing can record as it is. It kind of seems like it has like a wide angle view or something. But we'll see what it looks like on the road. Maybe that's done on purpose. Okay. All right, so this stuff you can't actually touch, John, right here. That you touch that. Let me go back there. So this is record mode. This is video mode. So that's stuff that's in there. So there's no memory card in there. Camera mode to take a couple of photos. Okay. See the settings. LCD off protection, low battery. I'm gonna have to charge it first. Okay. Key sound, okay. Alright, so it looks pretty decent. This is the same type of thing that you see them usually selling, like when they sell these cheap video game consoles. They use like very, very basic interfaces and everything. But you can get a lot done with these things. I mean, you can use these things as little MP3 players. You can use them to watch little videos and whatnot. If they'll run the format, like, you know, let's say that, you know, you have a hard day's work and you want to store some porn in your pocket or whatever, you can use these things for a number of purposes. You can even use them to make amateur video. So as you can see, the image quality, it's decent. I mean, they say it's 1080p. I know a lot of people, you know, like 4K video and everything. That's why you buy a new GoPro and everything. But my thing is, who wants to spend that kind of money to put something like this in your car, run the risk of it getting stolen? Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to recharge this thing, put it in my car, and make you guys a video using it. But you know what I also noticed? This camera lens did not retract itself. So my guess is it can't. My guess is, even though it looks like it has a retracting camera lens, maybe it can, maybe it can't. I'll find out. In fact, I want to test that out. I want to see if it can do that. It is nice, though. I'll say this. It is nice that this thing does come with a rear backup camera. The rear backup camera, you plug one part into the brake light, and then you plug the other part into this hole right here. This part has a very long cable that goes all the way up to here. So this might actually not be so bad for people. Like for instance, if you got like a really cheap car, like a Honda Civic or something, and you're worried about somebody hitting you in the back, or you want to, you know, be able to put your car in reverse without running over children or whatever. I mean, I could see where this could come in handy. Okay, so let's get this thing mounted up. So basically, I'm going to be using just a little test 2 GB microsd card. As you can see right here, this is a 2 GB microsd card. It's a little bit bright because of the sun. So let's get this in here. That goes in the bottom. It goes right there in the bottom. Oh, turn it around. Microsd. I had to actually go searching through my stuff just to find a USB, the old USB cable. I think it was a USB-A cable. Had to go searching through all my stuff just to find one. Because I really don't use these things anymore. It's also been a long time since I had to use a microSD card. Because I don't have a Galaxy phone. Okay, so before I get started, this is a test of the video quality and the audio quality. So you can hear my voice and you can see what the image quality looks like. This is what the images look like that I'm taking, and you can hear my voice, so you can hear the audio quality. Okay, so this is a test of the visual and audio quality of this, whatever you want to call it, dash cam, video recorder, whatever you want to call it. And looks pretty good. It has a nice wide sweeping angle, a large aperture. Now, my only concern was how well the audio quality would be if you're listening to music or if you have the air conditioning way up. So basically, when I listen back to this clip, that'll be the main thing that I'm focusing in, you know, on how well is the audio quality. You know, because the video quality looks to be good. I mean, if you're looking for a cheap dash cam, something you don't have to worry about leaving in your car, you don't have to worry about somebody breaking your car, stealing the shit. I mean, you know, one of these is really, really good because it's, I wouldn't say disposable, but what I will say is it's very simple to use. And the one thing that I do have a problem with is the fact that the battery isn't very large. Like 300 milliamps doesn't keep this thing on longer than about 10 or 20 minutes. So basically, you have to plug this thing in to your cigarette lighter. Now, that also opens up a new issue. The plug, as I showed you, is on top of the unit. And because the plug's on top of the unit, that means that the wire is a little bit awkward where it is. You know, so here we go. Look at this. I'm just parking right here. Taco Bell. Yo quiero Taco Bell. So this way I can talk, and then I can look. I'm going to review the video real quick. So basically, this is it. And you know, my benefactors wanted me to show you this unit. I'm going to turn the AC off. My benefactors wanted me to show you this unit, and they wanted me to be able to talk about it and tell you all about it, so that this way, in hopes that you'd come to their Amazon page, and if you're interested, you might just consider buying one. Okay, so let's get everything activated. Turn on. It's pretty hot out here, so I'm going to turn on my AC. Okay, so basically it's ready to go. Yeah, 1080p is the mode. I don't know what you can set as far as let's see. Options include WDR. You can change the exposure, motion, resolution, dual camera record. I don't know what that is. All right, cycle. What's that about? I think you can change from camera to camera. There's an interval here. Watermark, the date. I'll turn that off. Guard. Parking guard. Okay, sounds. Alright, I'll leave the sound on. Okay, gravity. That's for if you're low, medium, high. Okay, so it's like if you shake it or whatever. Okay. So basically, that's the unit. It has the same body as like one of those, you know, those Chinese-made iPod Touch units that they were selling when you want a knockoff MP3 player. And that's the picture. I had to take the lens cover off. It looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording with my iPhone, and I'm going to record on this thing, and then I'm going to take that video and I'm going to add it into this video from my iPhone. I'm going to splice them together. So now I'll show you what it looks like when you're driving with it. So as you can see, it's still recording, and now I'm recording the camera while the camera's recording the road. I had to plug in my cigarette lighter adapter right there because the issue became that the battery ran out. So you're basically watching this piece of video twice unless I edit it out. But you know, it's doing what it's got to do. But see, as you can see, one of the reasons why I don't like dash cameras, and one of the reasons why I've been reluctant to actually use one, is because when I'm holding it like this, I can focus in on things that I want to specifically see, while the dash camera is focused straight ahead. So it's like if I want to zoom in on this ugly-ass Maximo right next to me while he's sneaking up to me, I can do that, but I can't do that with the dash camera. You know, so, you know, there's advantages and disadvantages. And the way I hold my phone, like I don't hold it with a full grasp. I hold it as if I was smoking a cigarette. The way I hold it, and with its image stabilization, I'm able to pretty much get steady recordings and steady photos of important things, you know? Like if something happens, I have way more dexterity like this. If I have that camera up there, it's like I have to unscrew that in order to wave it around in order to look at something very specifically, or you have to force it into point in a specific direction. So that can be a bit of a pain in the ass. But for the most part, you know, they gave it to me to show you, And if you're interested in an inexpensive dash camera, I'm sure they're going to give me a coupon code just like all the other companies do. And you can take the coupon code and you can buy yourself one if you're really interested in having one. Because it's better to have one than to not have one, especially this day and age. Because, you know, you never know when somebody could get into a car accident or when the cops could lie on you and they say you got drugs and you didn't have no drugs or whatever. It's always important to have some kind of recording device now, because these people are liars. That's what it is. A lot of these people just lie. You know, everybody lies. The president lies. The whole staff lies. Politicians lie. Cops lie. Drivers lie on each other. It's like, you can't be too careful. You got to record people, and when you catch them in a lie, take that tape to court, and next thing you know, you turn the tables on them. They thought it was going to be one thing. They show up to court, you got evidence and shit, and you light their ass up. And they didn't even see it coming because they thought that they were going to be able to get away with the lies. So, better to have it than to not have it. I think it's important to also note that when this camera makes its video files, what it does is it creates a file that is about, let's see, where's the properties? It creates a file that's about 424 megabytes. And that's for a very short file that's only about 4 minutes. Now, obviously, you know that 500 megabytes is half of a gigabyte, right? So what I end up having to do is I have to use Real Player. I use Real Player Converter in order to convert that file into a MP4. So this way it's easily accessible on my Apple devices, because Apple doesn't use the .mov that this one uses, right? Now, what I do is I convert the file and then I delete the original file because there's no point in that taking up space on my hard drive. So the new file that I created is fucking 658 megabytes. So it's uncompressed into an MP4. So basically, I'm putting that file in my phone in order to finalize the video in 1080p so that this way I can upload it as a video. The last things that I'm going to mention about this file, or the camera, I should say. The last thing I'm going to mention about this camera is this camera has a G sensor. And the G sensor is there, and I looked at it when I was on the user interface. The G sensor senses if the car gets into a car accident, because as you know, if you get into a car accident, there's a sudden acceleration. And what it does is if it senses that sudden acceleration when the G sensor is on, it'll create a file that can't be overwritten. It's locked. And it's a file there just in case you get into a car accident. So this way you can use it later as evidence. The other thing that it has, using those same accelerometers that are in the device, it has a 24-hour sensor so that if it senses somebody trying to break into your car, it can actually start recording. Now, as you know, it has a back camera and it has this front-facing camera, which is actually pretty good because I've noticed that Tesla Model 3s get broken into a lot. And they have cameras that face inwards into the car, and they have a camera that faces outwards to the front. And they also obviously have the rear backup camera, and they can record, and they can be used for evidence just in case they're able to catch the face of a person who breaks into your car. I think these are great features. I think this is a decent, inexpensive camera to have, especially if you have a car that's not very expensive, but you want to protect yourself or whatever from, cops or from people who might hit you. The one thing about it that I will say is that the features are really nice. I would just like the build quality to be better because I think the audio isn't that great, especially if you have your AC running. So as far as inexpensive dash cam recording options go, this is pretty okay. I personally prefer using iPhone for everything. So like this iPhone XS Max that I have, right? This thing's 512 gigabytes. I could drive for 8 hours recording with this thing. And if I want to use the lowest 720p or if I want to use 1080p on my iPhone, the thing about it is I can easily record 10 hours or more. So I could have an entire drive completely recorded, and all I'd have to do is plug this thing into the cigarette lighter adapter. I prefer it if more cars had dash cams built in, but the problem is you always have to worry about Big Brother, and you got to worry about cops, come messing with your records and this, that, and other. But I really do think it would be nicer if more cars had dash cams built in. But unfortunately, right now, the only cars that want to do that are the race cars, like McLarens, Corvettes, and things that you know you're going to take to the track, or Tesla cars or whatever. So basically that's all I have to say for this. So what I will say is I try to get in at least one video every single week. Next week, today is what is it? Today is June 23rd. Next week I'll be leaving this country again. I'm going back to the Philippines for the summer, July, and I may stop over in Bali, Indonesia, for like, you know, beaches and scooch and whatnot. So July 3rd, I'm leaving early in the morning, so I'll probably do a live video at the airport as I'm getting out of here. And it's going to take 16 hours to get there. And I have a condo over there and everything, so I'm out of this country, you know, for July. So I won't be back until August. So for right now, that's my content for Sunday. It's like me.
Take it too much for granted.
That's surprising. Get away from me, goddamn Infinity! You can't hang with us.
You know, you're in middle to upper management and things are going
he
great.
just left.
Hey, companies can reorganize in a heartbeat.
God damn you, Infinity! You can't hang with us.
Doesn't?
Thanks for letting me join this team. It's not really a team. It's just a bunch of guys that get together and ride. I know. Whoa! Hey! Bike lane, asshole! It's always the guy in the fucking Infinity.